Farm groups ask a federal appeals court to overturn a $50 million verdict. Last year, juries in 3 separate trials awarded damages to neighbors of North Carolina hog farms. Farm Bureau says runaway damages awarded would cause enormous harm to farmers and rural communities. Joining us now with an update is AFBF Senior Counsel for Public Policy, Travis Cushman. Thanks so much for joining us. And can you explain what North Carolina hog farmers, what are they facing right now? And tell us, Travis, what has happened so far in these cases?
Sure. So in 2014, there were 26 lawsuits that were filed on behalf of 541 plaintiffs, all in eastern North Carolina. And these lawsuits target swine operations, 89 swine operations, for allegedly being what's called a nuisance. What's important about these cases, and it's a little bit different, is that these cases are not targeting the individual farmers themselves, but the producer, Murphy Brown. And so far, there have been 4 trials that have come to verdicts. The first 3 resulted in verdicts of over $550 million. And that first trial is what's on appeal right now.
You know, a lot of farmers are concerned about the precedent that this could be setting. Talk about how we define what is a nuisance.
Yes, so the law defines a nuisance as an unreasonable interference with another's use of their personal property. And so what the plaintiffs claim here is that the odors, flies, and truck noises from the farms are what interfere with their reasonable use of their property.
Okay, so did the state of North Carolina have anything in place to help protect farmers from these types of claims?
They did. Like most states, since 1979, actually, North Carolina has had a statute called a right to farm law. And what this law does is it says that normal farming activities are not a nuisance. Unfortunately, in this case, the judge read into it a requirement that farming activities could only be subject to the statute if the residences around the farm were new and there had been no residences around the farm when the farm began.
Okay, but AFBF is taking action here. What did AFBF file this week, and what is your main takeaway?
Yes, so we filed what's called an amicus brief, and we were joined on this brief with the North Carolina Farm Bureau, the National Pork Producers Council, and the North Carolina Pork Council. And what we did in this brief is we really focused on informing the court that these activities are commonplace activities, and not only are they commonplace, they're highly regulated. And if these types of normal farm activities are subject to massive damages, then that could have horrific impacts on the rest of the country, including farmers and rural communities everywhere.
Yeah, I think farmers in nearby South Carolina and really all over the country are going to watch to see how this all plays out. Thank you so much for joining us. Travis Cushman with the